did you know that there's a power station in Swane that cost the city of Swane 300 million every single month to run, but nobody does anything? It doesn't produce any electricity. All the people do there is sit, eat, and sleep until knockoff time because there's nothing else to do.
And then people say, oh, they don't want austerity. We can't cut the budgets of government. I mean, really now. The staff at this particular power station, it's called Royval Power Station, have been paid every day and every month for 10 years to do sweet nothing. And apparently, Byron, the poor souls, they said it's driving them crazy. They're getting paid lots of money and they're doing nothing every day. They're eating their food, they're having naps, and then they're going home. It makes you wonder, I mean, how dumb do you have to be? If I was being paid to do nothing, I wouldn't even go to work. But, civil servants in this country, not the smartest.
Yeah, interestingly enough, the actual individuals, when asked what they do all day, they say, nothing. We'd actually like to do something. In fact, we actually hate our jobs. For the last 10 years, we've done, nothing. Just sleep, eat at the office, walk around the place, pretend to be busy. But there's nothing to do. He says, we don't earn our salaries. They just give us a salary. Nice grift, mate, for 300 million, huh?
And this is just one small example. Imagine how many civil servants all over the country get paid lots and lots of money to do absolutely nothing. I remember there was a case where someone was on medical leave for like 12 years and got paid all the time. And then when they actually did an audit, they're like, oh, wait, where's this guy? I don't know. No one in the office knows who he is. So, oh, no, he went on sick leave 12 years ago, but got paid all the time to be on sick leave. And then the Treasury comes out and says, guys, we need to cut spending in government. And Kazada's like, no, we can't do that. It's actually just auditing how many people actually would do work and paying them. Like, that is what austerity is these days.
Yeah, so I mean, in the case of Royval, the actual comments made by the staff who work there are that the assets are falling into disuse because nobody actually uses it. The infrastructure is still there, no power is generated, and every day, every month, the only power that they generate is to basically power their computers so they can watch, I don't know, porn or something on computers because they're not doing anything else. And he says the quality of the coal that they even use there is poor. You've got a whole load of stockpiles of coal there. Why are they stockpiling coals, mate? It's a disused power station. But, in typical fashion, the Lucas still got to flow, right? They're still going to have the coal there at the power station in case somebody tells them to turn it on, even though nobody does. All whilst we sit here with stage 6 load shedding. And you would have thought to yourself, you know what, Ramon? We've got a power station. It's fully staffed. It's even got coal. We could just turn it on.
And this is not a uniquely ANC issue. And the DA have been in power in Swane on and off since 2016. And they didn't notice that there's like 300 million rand a year being paid to people who don't work whatsoever. It's a bit of a huge oversight on the DA's point. But to make it right, Elias Brink, the mayor of Tshwane, now wants to bring that power station online, ensure that private operators run that power station, and then hopefully makes Tshwane, or Pretoria, as we like to call it, load shedding free. After 10 years and 3 billion rand of salaries, that's not a bad idea, I would think.
Yeah, not a bad idea at all. Now, you may look at it and say, well, why now? Well, because Tshwane is bankrupt, has got no money. So Elias now actually has to, cut some spending. And he's got 300 million just over there that we can, get rid of because no one does anything. And then they've said, well, what do we do? And he said, wow, private sector. Remember, public-private partnerships. We can get them to fix it and sell us back the electricity. It would be great. We can limit load shedding in the city. Yeah, I don't see this happening, mate, because the ANC is never going to allow Eskom to allow its assets to be used by anybody that's not a cater. And I can't see that the vast majority of people at this power station, apart from the few that actually have, some personal dignity, are actually going to want to go back to work after 10 years of just eating KFC and watching TV all day.
I mean, you have to really question the morale and ethics of a person who takes a salary for 10 years and then just does nothing. You have a problem with carry deployment. You have a problem with load shedding. You have a problem that Tshwane has no money whatsoever. You have a problem with Tshwane being on fire every second day because of striking workers. And now the mayor of Tshwane wants to take Tshwane off load shedding by having private operators operate a power station that hasn't been used in a decade. I'm an ambitious fellow, but this is really ambitious.
Well, yeah, and apparently the head of sustainability actually is even more ambitious than you. He wants the leases to start by June 2024 so that he can plug it all in. And it's amazing the comments that have actually come back and I think they're worthwhile understanding. They said, first, this is going to require intensive capital investment. So that whoever's going to do that is going to need to put a shitload of money in fixing the place. Because remember, they're disused. Next, it's going to need regulatory approval. And we all know how well the regulatory approval works on this place, eh? Yeah, that's likely to get done by 2056. And he then says that the timescales to put this in operation by June 2024, not really going to happen. It's never going to happen in the best will in the world. Now, Ramon, if I was a critical man, I would ask you a question. What's happening in June 2024 that they want all these leases to go out there as a good news story?
The election that is our 1994, as the EFF likes to call it. So, yeah, the ANC wants the NHI before 2024. The DA wants Tshwane to be load shedding free before 2024. You know, we can all believe in unicorns, I suppose. We all need to tilt away from Eskom, but optimizing solar panels can be quite tricky. However, thanks to Solar Tilt, that problem is now in the past. Very much like Eskom. Solar Tilt's unique, patented system lets you tilt your solar panels towards the sun, which optimizes energy production throughout the entire day. And it can be installed on any roof type as well. Solar Tilt is made in South Africa for South African conditions, therefore making it almost impossible to steal thanks to its anti-theft brackets. Being proud patriots, Solar Tilt is made in South Africa for South Africans. So tilt away from the darkness and into the light with Solar Tilt. For more info, check out their website and Facebook page, which is linked below.